Just
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. You knock it out now. So we
Yeah.
live now. So what's good, everyone? We're live. I'm Loretta's only. How y'all? I have Erica here as well. And I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna introduce Erica in a few moments. Also, I got your bio right here. Let me see what you said. All right.
He
So
know me,
introducing
y'all. He know me.
Yeah, introducing Erica Simmons, a multi-talented individual with a diverse range of credentials. Bachelor in metaphysics, practitioner of metaphysics, ordained minister, theta healing practitioner, associates
Yeah.
in business, oil priestess, or an oil Mara Marafor?
It's called a murafor. So we do oil
Marafor.
priestess ceremonies, anointing.
Oh, okay. A
Yeah.
vision board coach and jewelry designer, best-selling author, and YouTuber. All right.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
You
And
know, they say you be doing the most.
right. So this is my first time actually going on YouTube and Facebook Live. As you already know,
Oh, wow.
for 2 years, I was on IG doing the lives
I
every
know. That's what I
Wednesday.
thought you were doing. Instagram.
I changed it up. I'm trying to reach a broader audience. I'm trying to monetize myself.
Okay.
So I feel like I broadcast on YouTube. I could do it on multiple platforms. So someone told me to look in the StreamYard, and I checked it out. And I said, hey, I'm gonna start going this direction. So this is my first time. So bear with me. And if you're new to joining in, anybody on YouTube, I don't know where you at. Let me know where you at. If anybody's in the comments yet, I don't see anybody in the comments yet, but people
I don't
probably
see you
popping.
live.
You
Where
don't see
are
me
you
live?
live?
YouTube,
On
YouTube,
YouTube. Okay, got it. Got it.
and my Facebook page, Loretta's Only. I'm on my artist page, not Sharon.
Oh, okay, on the artist page. That's why.
What's up, True Words? I see True Words in the building. What's good, bro?
Oh my
What's
goodness.
up, True?
How many songs do you guys got together?
Me and True Words haven't did a collaboration yet. Not
Oh,
yet. Not yet. But
are you gonna talk about this cheesecake
yeah,
business and the
yes,
men with the
yes,
clap back? They got the clap
yes,
back.
yes, yes. I want to talk about that list. That list was crazy. I'm like, really, like, really, like. I started listening to it yesterday on the radio, so I'm like, this should be a good topic to talk about tonight. A lot of times, what they think about that list, and it's like some of the things on that list I saw. Okay, I understand that you don't want to go to a guy. You don't want to go to a guy's house. Oh, absolutely, man. Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate you tapping in. Oh, definitely, definitely. Now, and let everybody know this is on YouTube now. Live Talks Low has moved to YouTube. I was talking about it last night. And to go back to the list, it's like they're saying, okay, I get it. First date, house, no. Yeah, of course not. You don't want to take nobody to your home, family function, or the movies, or a church, or the gym, or things like that. That's a no-no for first dates. Okay, I understand that. But Cheesecake Factory, they got Waffle House, IHOP, Applebee's, Chili's, whole bunch of restaurants,
That's the
bowling, no.
regular. That's the regular. That's the home
This is
sweet
a first
home.
date.
But this is the place where you at least know, like I know I got my thing. I like my chicken Alfredo. You know what I'm saying? I got
Mm-hmm.
my shrimp Alfredo, the regular stuff, that you like. But I don't know. Where do you take people to eat when, I've talked to somebody and they were telling me that when they graduated, when it was the eighth grade dance, that their parents got them a Hummer limo for the eighth grade dance. Okay. So look where things are going when you have, okay, the see-through prom dress. And I try because y'all, I'm a woman of a certain age and I might be a little bit too old for this group.
Right.
But when you got the see-through dress, I mean, you got to have red bottoms for the prom. I've seen people spend $800 for prom shoes and $1,000 for the dress. And this will sound so corny, but me and my sister, we both went to the junior prom and senior prom. We lived in different places. We switched dresses, like we were just like, we got our Mac makeup and stuff, and we did stuff, but we
Right.
just weren't like that, right? And then when my niece came along, I have a niece and she, got her nails done. We got her dressed and she was like mad at us because we didn't get her a limo. But I was like, okay, we did our part. Auntie did the part. And I wasn't, our
Limo, man,
expectations are
be so
like
high.
out the box. But when you have people kind of live in this microwave life and they think that the lifestyle that you see on TV, I mean, what can you say? Everybody wants to be Nene Leakes, right?
Right.
Everybody's extra, and they want to roll their eyes and like have these out of the ordinary, like over the top personalities that everybody is just really, dealing with imposter syndrome, right?
Right.
One of the terms that I really hate the most for the longest time, even though I'm a vision board coach, I don't like the term fake it till you make it, because I think people take it wrong. It doesn't mean that you should pretend that you're a big shot when you're not.
Correct.
It doesn't mean that. And I'm going to say this. I've as a medical practitioner, been to so many people's houses, and I've looked at how different people live. Like I've been in these people's homes and large home doctors, and they were of a certain culture. I don't want to, be weird, but of a certain culture. And they had, everything was so fancy. And guess what? The phone was ringing and I heard messages. Why? The bill for your furniture. They were calling like, we need a payment or we're going to have to come get this furniture. But they were like living above their means, right? But then I've been in Asian people's homes and I've seen how they had like picnic table, like the plastic picnic table as a table. They were more focused on saving money and helping each other start businesses rather than trying to live lavish when you don't have it yet.
Right.
And I think we want to get paid up front. It's a microwave culture. So it's really hard, Did you see the first interview of the woman who basically got embarrassed by filming the guy when she went to the Cheesecake Factory?
Oh yeah, I seen that. That's weird. That was very weird.
Totally weird. Number one, why are you recording people while you're on a date when you should be present?
Yeah.
But then, why try to mock the person and embarrass them? And then how are you trying to get to know the person?
Correct.
I don't know. You can ask me whatever you like, but I saw that and I thought, well, you weren't really interested in getting to know him. But I even saw that follow-up interview that they did. I can't remember what his name was, Kevin Wallace, or I'm not really sure what his name was. He interviewed them both together. And the idea was that, number one, we were going to go to a better place, but you were an hour late. And you were saying how fabulous your makeup was, but you were doing your makeup in the car. And then I thought, when I get to know people, I get to know them on the phone, right? That's how I get to know, like, am I getting in this person's car or not?
Exactly.
So you did that 1 week talking on the phone and went on a date, but I don't know. I think maybe sometimes we need to talk more. And I think there's just certain questions men should ask women and certain questions women should ask men so that you can find out, is this person living in my realm of expectations? Like, are they in my world? Are they in my bubble? Do I even belong on a date with this person?
Right.
I'm not going to lie. I have friends that, like, sometimes people are looking at things as if they want the one, right? And I'm like, okay, well, you can't just only date the one or wait to date the one. You got to go out and have fun, right? And meet people, because going on dates with people and witnessing different behaviors in different scenarios, you're figuring out what you want, what you don't want, what you tolerate and what you won't tolerate. Exactly. And so you can't just wait to find the one, but then how are you going to get to know the person and relax and get out of this this way of being where you're putting on a facade, and get to know a person if you can't sit down and have a conversation at a regular place, So I don't know. I think I had made a list of questions not a list of questions, but a list of things that you should ask a person, because you're trying to figure out if we're looking for the same thing. It's okay if people just want to get together and they want to find people to hook up, because I tell my friends, like, if you just want some fuckery, it's okay. But be honest with yourself and know what you want. Like, I'm no good for a marriage or a relationship. I'm just really out here trying to have fun, and go meet people who want to have fun the way
Right.
that you like to have fun. Don't pretend
Exactly.
to be something else. Don't pretend like you want to be in a relationship when you don't. Don't pretend that you don't want to be in a relationship when you really do. I think people lie on both parts. They lie to themselves about what they want, because then, some people get disappointed and they say, I don't want anybody. And I'm like, you don't have to lie. It's
Right.
okay to want
Exactly.
somebody and be disappointed and hurt. You don't have to lie to yourself, but you have to get yourself to the frequency of the thing that you desire. A lot of people, like, say Lizzo, right? I think that's
Right.
a huge thing. Now, with Lizzo, you want to force people to date you who aren't interested in you. There's a man who likes a big woman,
Exactly.
right? But then if you're attracted to a certain body type, that person, you got to find that person that likes what you got. You
Right.
can't, the people that aren't interested in you be interested in you. So I thought that was really interesting, right? Because she wants this buff guy that's big and tall and whatever. Okay, on the other end of that, what are you reciprocating? Because the guy who has all that and works out and is fit, some of those guys, they might like a big juicy woman. That might be what they like. But
Hmm.
but most likely they're gonna like somebody who lives the lifestyle that they live, right?
Right.
You know.
Right.
So
And I think the woman that made that list of all the places that they said they're not gonna go, they probably can't take themselves there. So he wants somebody else to do it. And it's
that's true. You
crazy
want
for a first date. You expect Capital the Grill and Ruth Chris and what's the other 5-star restaurants?
Well, that's okay if that's what you want. If you feel like waiting until you can find that person that can take you there,
Exactly.
then so be it. Because I'm not gonna lie, I've already been married. I've already had my son. I'm already
Hmm.
divorced, and I can
Hmm.
already take myself to all those places, like you said.
Right.
And I don't want to go. I don't want somebody to come and just sit on my couch, because I think what is happening is what a lot of women are trying to say is the way you start is the way you finish. So if the person starts out with just wanting to hang out and sit on your couch,
Hmm.
then it won't develop into going on a cruise.
Right.
Me, I'm at an age where I'm actually retired early. So when I meet people, I want people that can afford to travel.
Right.
I
And
know, and I've been on dating apps before where I know a guy called me and I couldn't believe it. He was living in his car, and I was like, honey, you can't even afford to date. You can't afford to pay attention. So you really don't need to be asking people out on dates. What you're looking for is a place to stay. That's what you're looking for. You're
right.
not
Right.
you're not looking for a date. So it's a lot. I
Right.
mean, interrupt me anytime, because I talk a lot. You've been
I
around me.
know. I know. I know you saying you making some valid points, but what I'm saying is for a first date, I mean, like I don't think a guy got to spend all that amount of money just to prove that he's serious or not. Because I mean, that guy could do that same thing, could spend that $500 on that date or $200 or whatever for a dinner, and still sleep with the woman, then still leave you and still ghost you. It doesn't matter, or he might treat you like shit. But when you got this guy over here,
You know what
that
that
might
reminds me of, Sharon? That
what
reminds me of, and you see it now, they still make videos about this. Back in the day when I was younger, a lot of guys would like put on a fancy watch or and they
Mhm.
would do a thing where they drop someone else's ATM receipt that had a bunch of numbers on it and kind of see who falls for it, kind of see who
Right,
goes for it.
right,
Personally, I've never been a person that was after anybody else's money, because I like my own.
right.
And I've heard some females say, "Well, if he can't pay my phone bill," I said, "Well, honey, I don't want anybody paying my phone bill, because the phone bill is mine. Once
Exactly.
somebody pays my phone bill, they will feel I'm obligated to answer the phone. If someone is paying my light bill, they feel like they might be obligated to, you know, like, I got 30 days of lights. So they gonna be wanting to be around me for 30 days. But what if I get to this point where I don't want to be around you no more? So I don't really go around letting people pay my bills, because This is my house. I don't want anybody else to have any say in my house. So I don't let people pay my bills for me.
Uh-huh.
So I will go on a date. These guidelines for the date, I get it because uh, what happens is like, okay, so some of these women are maybe real estate agents or maybe they are a corporate culture, right? And so they're so used to this corporate culture, and they some of these people are going to these type of fancy restaurants for lunch. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? And so they've gotten accustomed to doing certain things, but just know that, you know, some people are looking for simps and some people are looking for pimps. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Exactly.
it just
Exactly.
it's such a give and take thing because if you treat, I know you've heard me say this before. A lot of people will treat men like two things, and they forget that there is a human being on the other side of it. And this goes men and women. So don't ever think that this is something where we can say, well, men this and women that. And I'm really kind of tired of that culture. That's some Willie Lynch bullshit, but we can talk about that later.
Oh,
Now,
that's I'm gonna have a topic about that too.
that's really, you know, a lot of what this undercurrent of negativity where men towards women, it's like, you know what Willie Lynch is, but you're doing it anyway. You're living it out
Right.
anyway. But a lot of people will treat men like two things. They will treat them like a walking wallet or an ATM. When a man gets to feeling like that, if you want a sugar daddy, you know, if you got to crawl for the money or do whatever it is, like if you want to treat a man like an ATM, then he's going to treat you a certain way, right?
Right.
But then if you want, and then there's the walking penis. So basically, men got two jobs. You got to be this gigantic, big walking penis and a wallet. And it's like not really treating people like people. I think it's getting to the point where people are so hurt themselves that they're so afraid to be hurt again that they're going out on the attack. So they want to get you first. It's like who can snow the other person, who can get over, you know, instead of people aren't dating with the purpose of actually getting to know each other. And yeah, there are people who just really date for food. That's a real thing. It is. And some of these people they want to take home leftovers. So I don't know. I guess they feel, you know, they can't make it on their own and they can't do certain things. So some people, it's so many little beasts out here. I remember there was this song. Let me see. It's called "Sweet Dreams." Do you know that song?
Who sang it? Who sang it?
Let me see real quick. I knew the Eurythmics. That's it. I didn't even have to look it up. So the Eurythmics say, "Sweet dreams are made of these. Whoever mind to disagree, travel the world and the seven seas." And
Oh,
everybody is looking for something, right? And it
now
says,
now I'll sample that. Now I know what you're talking about. Now I'll sample that.
yeah. And it says, some of them want to use you and some of them want to be used by you. Some of them want to abuse you and some of them want to be abused by you. So when I think of these situations, I just think of users always find um, overgivers, and overgivers just seem to gravitate towards users. But then it's like sometimes the good people get caught in the middle of
Mm-hmm.
the users. And I don't know. I think really we need to talk more before we even go on the date to see where a person's head is at. I mean, you could even just look at the temperature because really people think that all you got to do is have a big ass, and it's like, okay, you got a big ass. Now what?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, but here it is. You know, you got men that are idolizing women with, oh my god, you know, when you see the pictures, they go crazy, and it's like, okay, that's what you want, a big ass. Okay, well then you kind of what kind of exchange are you going to get for that? You know,
Exactly.
because I guess before we used to know that if you wanted someone, you know, if you're seeking certain kinds of attention by just your body type or you
Mm-hmm.
know your presentation of the goods, then that's what you're going to get, probably a superficial person.
Right. Definitely gonna get a superficial person, and we got some people in the chat. Megan Scott, welcome to the Live Talks with Low
Oh my
show.
god, my friend Megan,
She said, "Hey Erica, happy late birthday. Happy
thank
late birthday
you.
to you too. Cause when your birthday? Your birthday the 23rd too, ain't it?
Yeah, it was Monday.
That's
I
right.
was hanging out at
That's right.
Universal.
That's right. I forgot. Cause I was like, man, I knew somebody else's birthday was in October 23rd. Cause my dad's birthday was on the 23rd. Was on Monday too. My dad, you and my dad had the same birthday. That's right.
Yeah.
You and my dad
Hopefully
got the
I'm not
same
his
birthday.
age, but it's
Nah, my dad 73,
oh, thank you.
74.
No, I'm not his age.
Nah, you not. You not.
They
You
would have
not.
me in a museum or something. That's awesome.
And she Vickery traveled the world in the seven seas. She was talking about the song. I know the song you talking about now. That was Nas sample that.
Yeah, but I always think of that. Like when you think about some people just want to use you,
Right.
but but some people want to be used. Some people really do want to be used.
Right.
Just make sure. I think what is going on in our dating community is a lot of people are dating for different reasons. The same way you get married for different reasons. One of the books I like is Outwitting the Devil, and
Mm-hmm.
it talks about in relationships and marriages and things like that. When you're approaching people, you want to be seeking the same goals, and if you're not having the same goals, then it's unbalanced. You know what I mean?
Correct.
But it's a level of maturity. I don't know. I can't really tell the people that the dating list is wrong. Those people who say that they don't want to go to those places, I'm sure that's them flued out chicks. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So if you're a
They
flued
got
out
spoiled.
chick,
They probably
how do
got
you
with
feel
us.
about that though? How do you feel about the flued out videos and the flued out chicks and things like that?
It's pretty interesting because my thing is like, all right, if you know a guy gonna fly you out, right? Like whether it's the first day or not, you know he gonna want some of that cootie. So don't be trying to act it different because like I know y'all. I'm pretty sure they talked about it, especially you talk to this person like let's say 6 months to a year, and the guy finally flies you out. Somebody finally catch a
Oh, is
flight.
that how long it takes to get flued out?
I guess I don't know. I'm just using that as an example. I'm just saying the stretch
Yeah.
of time, but within the time you talked before he flew out, you knew that guy was gonna you knew that guy wanted something.
Well,
It's
that's why
obvious.
you bring your friend as a chaperone, right?
Nah, don't bring your friend because then he
A
you
lot
said
of
you.
girls bring a sidekick with them.
I know. And then if the guy say, "Oh, what? I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you and your friend. I just wanted you."
Or maybe I do want you and your friend. Maybe they do want both.
Maybe, but
Maybe it's a
but
chance something's gonna happen if you bring two. he gonna be thinking he getting two for one. But I've seen that situation, and it's like, really, honestly, do you want to go out and be,
mhm.
you want someone to spend money on you, but do you want it bad enough that you risk your safety though, so you can go, make an Instagram post and look cool? Because I see a lot of these cases where people are nearly attacked, or there's always something chaotic or dramatic with it.
Mhm.
Is it worth your safety? Because I think a lot of people are risking their safety going out to see people that you don't know because they got money. Like, really, it just makes me sad for the culture. That's all I can say.
Right. It's getting ridiculous because it's like the first day standards is so high. It's like how can you be a good guy? And let's say the guy do got good money, the dude makes good money, or he has the capability to take you to a 5-star restaurant or wherever you want to go. But you're not gonna know that because you're too busy trying to look at how much you spend on the first date. Then when the first date should really be about vetting each other to see how much you can learn about each other. What do you like? Do we have a lot in common? Because you might get to the first date saying, I might not like you like that. You might not like me like that. So that's what the first date should be about. About communication shouldn't be about how much money you spend or necessary. I'm just saying now don't sit there and just don't plan nothing. I'm saying get
Yeah,
creative,
well,
yes.
what is dating?
I mean,
A lot of people with their idea of dating is not the same thing. That's just it. Like, think about it.
mhm,
We're coming from different demographics. We're coming from different neighborhoods, different cities, different walks of life, different income levels. Where if you going out with Sexy Red, I don't know what you gonna get when you go out with Sexy Red. How does that work?
well, happy birthday to you too, Megan Scott.
I know, Megan. We share the same birthday, but then she's a a Scorpio and I'm a Libra, even though we're born on the same day.
How's that work? I thought you was a Scorpio.
No, I'm glad I didn't get a tattoo because I didn't find out till like 3 years ago, 3 years ago, when somebody did my birth chart that I wasn't a Scorpio, because it's degrees and it's a certain time of day that it changes. And so a couple of more hours and I'd have been a Scorpio, but I'm actually a Libra.
You're actually a Libra. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted my dad a Scorpio. He's a Libra. So
When is his birthday?
the 23rd, same as yours, but
Oh, so it'll definitely be up to the time of day.
oh, like that. Well, I don't know, but the time of day he was born in, but
Yeah.
like, wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I ain't know
Yeah,
that's a whole nother
it is.
topic.
Yeah, it's not. Well, too, you got to think about Greenwich Mean Time. Like, what time does the day start? Like, what's the time zone when the day starts? Us, New
Hmm.
York versus, when does the 23rd start and when does it end? That type of thing. But yeah, I didn't know until I got a birth chart. So I'm glad I didn't get a tattoo. But
All right.
I guess, like, okay, so like you could name two different women. Like you got somebody like Sexy Red, you got the girl that's at Walmart, and then you got, a divorced woman who's a real estate agent who makes 200,000 a year. Like they're gonna expect something different on different dates, right? So here it is where a guy, um, women seem to be like, I got a type, this type. A man says she looks good. It's like it could be that girl from Walmart, it could be the real estate agent, or it could be, you know what I mean? It just could be
Hmm.
these women who are completely different with their attitudes, with how they were raised, with where they're coming from, and how they live their life. So I can't really just say that they're wrong, but
Right.
I can't really say that they are negative or wrong or anything because they choose that. We just know that people having money doesn't necessarily make them good or
Right.
nice or better. You
Right.
could be missing out on somebody with a good heart, but then maybe these are the type of women that feel like, you know what? If I know if I go to these places, it's going to be a guy who's not going to try to borrow $20 for gas after it's over.
I agree. I agree. I
I
agree.
think
You
it's
you
like
you know you know what you're dealing with, but it's like
I think I don't know. I'm just trying to think of the mindset. It's like they're trying to eliminate people. Sometimes people raise the bar
mhm.
so high because they're trying to eliminate certain problems and certain issues.
True.
So,
True.
yeah. Now I know certain men. Now, when you meet a girl, there's a difference between how a guy will go out and how a girl will go out. Now, the way we were brought up, it's like you can look at a man's shoes and you can be like, you can look at his shoes to tell if he got nice, new, clean, fresh shoes. Like, okay, then he might be living good, right? Or if he's got like dirty run over shoes, you're gonna be looking at him like, he probably can't afford anything. You know what I mean? But then with a man, like what he does with a woman, and he sees a woman where she might be in need or lacking,
Mhm.
he sees where he can come in and be like, no, I can take care of you, girl. I can swoop in and help you. I can upgrade you, right?
Right.
Where women aren't looking to try to upgrade men. And I think a lot has been going on where a lot of women have gone through the stand by your man, and while you're learning your man, you're earning your man, and they've done all that stuff, and they're just to this point where they're like not trying to upgrade people. I know you've seen these guys that they go out with older women because the older woman buys them an X mask and
Right.
she takes care of them and stuff like. So I think a lot of women are maybe looking at how they've been used and they're reacting, and that's it. Like people are being reactive, but at the same time, it's coming across a certain way. The interesting thing about this cheesecake, the lady from the Cheesecake Factory incident was how amazingly humbled she was when he put his foot down. Because
Mhm.
here we are, no matter what our interactions are, you have a point where you can tolerate a certain amount and you put your foot down, and then I have my boundaries, right? And so once we set our boundaries and let each other know what our boundaries were, like it seemed like it humbled her out a huge level, like where she had seen where she made a mistake, like, well, he did win me over and he got my number, and then he was super nice on the phone, and then he did pick me up, he tried to hold her arm. Did you hear about that part?
Yeah, yeah.
And she
Hmm.
pulled away. But
Hmm.
maybe what another part of what I see about this whole thing too is a lot of women, you're going out with people when you already know you're not interested and you know you don't like them. And that's why a lot of men are saying, well, why the hell am I taking her on this expensive date when
Exactly.
this shit could be faking it the whole time, or she's not really interested. In this instance, she gave him so many signs that she wasn't interested. You weren't ready. You didn't even call him to let him know you were running late. If she was really excited about that date, she'd have been texting him like, hey, I'm going to be late tonight, but I'm really excited. She didn't do any of that. She was
Exactly.
late. She didn't warn him. He already made this reservation. You pulled your arm away from him. And what's wrong with him putting his arm around you? Were you really embarrassed to be with him?
Right.
Now, I'm going to tell you this. I do feel like now a lot of guys get called simp because they don't pick up on those cues. And maybe they want the attention so bad that they don't care if the woman gives them cues. Have you ever seen guys like that? Like they're going out with somebody and the girl is like looking at him screw face the whole time.
Yeah.
All she's doing is saying, give me this, I want this. And she's looking at him like, but then this guy, he's just like so happy to be with this girl that he doesn't care because he's so desperate for the attention. I
Hmm.
think a lot of people need to get to the point where, you know what is it that you're demanding of people? Because you got to care about yourself a certain amount. And so a lot of these women are reacting in a way where they're saying, you know what, I'm reacting, but I'm putting it out there. I'm not going to be putting up with this. So what they're trying to do is enforce their boundaries. But I think it's coming across in a highly negative way, in the way that people say, all women this, all men that. Men never do this. They always do that. Like it's that language where we have to change it because we're attacking each other, putting each other down, berating each other. And it's like, no, this isn't going to work like this. If we're walking
Hmm.
around bitter like that, then you're not going to be finding love. You're going to be just kind of, like you say, faking it till you make it. You're thinking you're going to meet somebody like this, but if your intentions aren't to truly connect with the person, stop wasting people's time. And if people
Exactly.
just want fuck buddies, why we don't need to go eat. If that's all
Exactly.
we're, if this is, it's kind of like being brave enough to say what you really want.
Right.
Be brave enough to say that's what you really want. And yeah, some women just want to be fuck buddies, and some
Right.
men be fuck buddies. That's what they want, right? But
Right.
no one's really brave enough to say it. And
And
then
Megan Scott
he
had something good to say.
on a
She,
companion. What was that?
Megan Scott was saying she look at it this. She said, I look at it like this. A lot of people may see it as being superficial when you look at a guy's shoes, but I see it this way. If a guy has a new pair of kicks on and their name brand, then that means he has respect for himself and is also return going to show and be able to respect you. But if a guy's wearing some broke down shoes that show that he doesn't have respect for himself and that respect to go, ain't gonna get him a clean new pair of shoes and take and where I'm out
Putting
in
his
front of
best
people.
foot forward, dressing
Exactly.
to impress.
I agree.
I'm gonna tell you that though you can't say that because maybe his last girlfriend bought him, or maybe his mama bought him, or maybe his sugar mama bought him. So
That is
you
true
can't
though.
really say. I
It
think what
is true.
happens is when we're superficial and we don't know what we're looking for, you can end up getting disappointed regardless.
Right.
And a lot of
Excuse me.
people can, who want to be flashy with cash and show up with a fancy car. Maybe that car is not his. A lot of people drive a rental and they will
Correct.
fool you. A lot of people are
Correct.
in debt too. A lot of people are in what? Big debt, trying to look big and fancy. And you
Hmm.
can fall for it and you'll still get suckered what? For a guy who really is still broke, or a girl who really is a hot wreck, because we're not talking about the right things. We're saying, well, where you work at? How much money you make?
Hmm.
How many kids you got? It's
Right.
like some superficial, really basic things instead of being like, what's your 5-year plan? What are your goals? Where do you want to live when you retire? What's your favorite place to go to when you're feeling down or when you want to cheer yourself up? What's a place that you've never been that you'd like to travel to? Um, getting into really asking a person some soul searching questions. When your parents get older, like what are you going to do with your parents when you get older? Do you plan on taking care of them? Would you let your mom live with there's these little questions, and we used to ask each other so many questions like,
Mm-hmm.
would you let your parents live with you if
Right.
they were sick? Or like you want to know some things, or do you just you know
Right.
do you just want to play this week or this month? And so
Exactly.
yeah, I think a lot of people are just extremely immature, and a lot of people are only clinging on to their pain, and they're just trying to take it out on other people, because these people who are just trashing women because
Mm-hmm.
they feel like, oh, women ain't this and they're selfish. Honestly, just get back down to that divine feminine. Like, what is wrong with having a woman and finding one that really loves you and protecting her and helping her feel physically and financially secure? What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And as a man, you should want to strive to do that. But as well, but
On the
my point,
opposite end,
yeah. But obviously,
making a
a
man
woman
feel
also feel like a
making a man
worth
feel respected, making a
right at the
man
same
feel like
time.
he's important and you value his
Exactly.
time and his opinion. Because a lot of women will get flipped over the word submissive, but submissive doesn't mean that he's telling you what to do and you obey.
Exactly.
Submissive is more about, you know what, sweetie, I was thinking about buying a new car or getting a new engine. Which one do you think is better? Should I get a new? Tell me why. Like, okay, now you tell me why you think which one is better, and you explain to me, and then I'm like, oh, okay. It's instead of being like, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. You can't tell me what to do. This is my money. Like, this is what we're talking about when we talk about being submissive.
Right.
It's respecting each other's opinions. And okay, if we're married, can I just buy a house and not tell you and then make
Nah.
decisions? Like we're being submissive to one another. We're respecting one another. We're making decisions together. We're growing together. We're making plans together. And I don't know. I think the huge interference is a lot of hip hop culture trying to be like
Mm-hmm.
people on TV, a lot of these bullshit reality shows where people think this is really how people live. These people
Mm-hmm.
are getting paid to act stupid in front of you.
Right.
Actually getting paid to destroy our culture. They're getting paid to destroy the way that we think because we have a social media uh, influenced lifestyle. They
Right.
call them influencers. A lot of people are addicted to porn. Why? Because of social media.
Correct.
Fan,
Oh, thank you, Megan Scott, Erica, and Loretta's on. I hope you have a good night. Thank you so much, Megan Scott, for your input. I appreciate you as well. I was looking at your comments. Thank you so much. And I'm going to say this, Erica. You know, you say a man should make a woman feel financially secure. Like you said, a woman should make a man feel respect. I'm also going to add this in there. Now, just because the guy might not have a whole bunch of finance, don't down talk him either. If he's out here trying to put in the effort, the guy got a job, he got something going for himself. Then don't sit there down talk and say, "Oh, you ain't got this and that." Don't do that. Anything that's the last thing a man need. Don't do that.
you're right. He just ain't where you want him to be yet, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's just not your category, right? That's just not
Exactly.
the one for you, right? I mean,
Exactly.
it doesn't make him a piece of garbage because I'm not gonna lie. When I go through the drive-through and I see guys working in the drive-through and not, begging or not outside trying to knock somebody over their head, I'm I'm happy for them. I'm proud of them that because it's a lot harder to go to work than it is to do
Exactly.
a lot of other things. So
Exactly.
we gotta understand too. Like I remember my times of working fast food and
Hmm.
then working retail and then I went to the army and then then my life elevated. I changed. I elevate. I change. I elevate. I change and I grow. And so the stages of life changes. So don't knock somebody for where they're at, because you might be the one finishing last. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think people, you're judging people strictly based on that, is not the way to go. But it doesn't mean that you have to date them. If you don't want to date dudes that work at McDonald's, I mean, that's on you.
Yeah, and
But
just because he work at McDonald's doesn't necessarily mean he can't afford to take you to a nice place on the first date. Because he might have a side hustle. He might be working at McDonald's job because he's using that to fund something else, or he might have a side hustle, but you won't know that if you don't talk to the guy.
I'm gonna tell you this. I have a sweetheart, and he has a job. This man works two jobs, and he works a night job at a restaurant. But why? Because he has a building that he's trying to build a fourth floor to a
See,
building
see,
that he rents out apartments on every floor. So where you might, I imagine if I had met him at the actual restaurant he worked at, and then I said, "Oh, works at a restaurant. I don't have any time to talk to him." But this is somebody who has a dream, so he's working hard. He's doing double.
right?
So because he's trying to fund this dream that he has to own more property and do things like that. So yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
you take the risk, but just remember, like, if you don't have room for love, then you're not gonna find love. You have
Exactly.
to give something to receive it. You have to be what it is that you're seeking. So if you want to have a positive, loving relationship, number one, you have to make room for it. You have to make room for the person, but you also have to have what it is that person's trying to reciprocate. You want to mirror, and a lot of people are mirroring a lot of negative character traits, and that's why they keep finding someone, because all you're doing is finding a reflection of yourself. If you were a deep reflection of love, let me tell you something. Negative people are very annoyed by loving people, right? Happy people. But
Right.
negative people seem to gravitate towards each other. So when you're having these experiences, maybe you need to reflect to yourself, why am I attracting these negative people? Why am I attracting people who are paranoid and who want to check my phone? Are you a person that I don't have time to check nobody's phone? Let me tell you that. I don't have time. I don't have that kind of energy. My temperature runs way too high. I don't have time to be doing stuff like that. So I'm not going to be attracting people that are jealous like that, because they're going to be irritated by me and my character. Because if I'm trying to be positive and speak love and speak life, then they're gonna filter out. They're gonna get annoyed if I'm really paying attention. You're gonna see when people don't really match up. You know, I think that's what it is. You have to be the thing that you want in someone else. Like, a lot of
Right.
people want somebody fit. Are you fit?
Exactly.
A lot of
Exactly.
people want somebody
Exactly.
wealthy. Are you wealthy? Are you
Exactly.
mirroring the thing that you desire in the other person?
A lot of people want to go to a 5-star restaurant. Can you go to a 5-star restaurant on your own?
That's right.
Yeah.
Um,
So what be a first date requirement for you, Erica? If a guy want to,
oh my gosh.
I'm just curious because that's what we're talking about. I'm just curious. I just want to see what's the first date requirements. Some of the ladies in the chat, and since I'm talking with a lady, I like to hear it. What be a first date requirement for you? Are you against going to Cheesecake Factory? Is that beneath you?
Heck no, you can rack up 150 in the Cheesecake Factory really easy. Honestly, oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness, what would be a requirement? I think I would like to talk to the person more about what kind of situation they're in right now.
That's a good requirement.
Because I don't think it matters as much where we go right now versus where are you in life.
Thank you.
I'm an adult female that's been divorced and already have a child. And I'm going to tell you about people who have already been married. Usually they're not in a rush to be married again. So a person who's in a rush to get married, I'm going to probably back up a little bit, like slow you down. Okay. A person who's like in a rush to have kids, I'm going to be backing away from that. You know what I mean? Because I'm looking more like at what stage of life we're in. If the person is like unavailable, if they have too many kids, so they got a lot of responsibilities, that's going to be like let's back out of that, because me, I need a certain amount of time and attention too. Now, I do like for a person to be occupied. You have some hobbies and interests and have your own friends. Because I got hobbies, interests, and I have my own friends. Like I can't have somebody sitting over here waiting for me. Like when you gonna be done with Sharon? We gonna,
Exactly.
we you
Yeah.
on Facebook talking. I don't have time for that because I do my own YouTube. I got
Hmm.
my own Telegram groups. I got sessions that I do with clients. So I can't have somebody who's gonna be antsy with my time and asking me why. Been through this where people say, why are you always doing this? And you know what I've met too? People who say, oh my God, that's so great that you do this, right? And then the first thing that they complain about is the thing that they said that they like about you. And then I
Gotta
had
love it.
somebody who maybe they were more religious than I was, and they wanted me to change that, and I was like, stop sign, because I'm not changing. If I decide that I want to do, more certain religious practices, I'm gonna do that because I want to do that. If you
Correct.
got something to say about my belly fat, I'm gonna tell you this. You should never put yourself in a position where you're going out with somebody and they want to change something about you.
Exactly.
That's
I
a
agree.
mix. See, because to me, these are things that are more important, right? I don't want anybody trying to change me. Anybody who's going to be jealous of my son, you're going to have to back the fuck up because, that's my boo. And I'm not even this person that, like, obsesses over my son, but I can't have somebody coming in wanting to take over roles and responsibilities and he does too much of this or he doesn't do much of that. I got, my son is a certain way, I'm a certain way. If you don't like what you see, move on. Don't try to do too much operating here. But my son is an older person. He's 17. He has his own interests. He has his own things. So um, somebody who doesn't have a stable place to stay. I feel like if you don't have a stable place to stay and you don't have a stable income and you can't, take care of
Hmm.
yourself, then you don't need to be dating. You need to be working on your life. And a lot of people are dating and they're not in a position to date because to me, dating means that you're going to go and have fun. Fun comes after you did your work. Fun comes after you done paid your bills and you still have money to actually go out. Um, and I feel like that's more the bottom line. And then too, like I'm at the
Hmm.
point where I can travel. So if I'm going to Puerto Rico and you can't go to Puerto Rico, that's going to be our relationship's going to be a little off balance, right?
Hmm.
If I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to Puerto Rico for Christmas. You want to go? Oh, no, I can't go. Okay. Well, in May, I'm going to Illinois. Oh, no, can't do that. So, I guess that's why they call things like evenly yoked because the
Right.
person is going to be if you can go and do certain things and they can't, they're gonna be looking at you funny or feeling the way. Like if you had a girl and she was going to Puerto Rico and then going to Hawaii, wouldn't you be feeling kind of off balance if you couldn't go?
Right.
Like I want someone that I could travel with, but then I'm thinking if Sharon, if you were my man and I don't know. That's going to be a different one, right? Because if I'm the woman and you're going to Puerto Rico and you don't ask me to go, then I'm gonna be like,
Yeah,
oh,
you gonna
okay,
feel some type of way. So, oh, I'm not gonna to go to
I'm
Puerto
gonna
Rico
feel
with you. Well,
away.
who down there? Who down there? So you gonna get them mamacitas down there?
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's a
So,
tough one. Yeah, it is. I guess it's
I'm
different for
mature,
me.
and I believe that lady. I think she really was a mature woman. I don't think she was even in her 30s. She actually looks like an older woman. Sorry, but she looks.
I think that was a skit though. It came out that as a
You think
skit.
so?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think it
okay.
was
Well,
a
she
skit.
looked at least 40.
Cause I think it came out that it was a skit. Cause like it looked kind of fake to me because it's like, why are you recording
It's
this like that? It didn't look serious. Like, why are you recording this? And you still in the car. Like, when are you? If she want to go to Cheesecake, when she just probably call her a Lyft or Uber and
I
just go
would have
home?
thought on her part it looked like it was scripted, but then when he
Yeah,
came on that other show and he was talking and he was just talking about his family and stuff, if he needs to be on TV like a real actor, if that really was fake, I don't know.
cause that's what it came out. It's a skit because like they both together on that talk show. They was both together.
Did you watch the other one where the girl, she went on a date and she ghosted the guy? So all you see is her walking out of this restaurant and she said, I was just on a date and I ordered my food and he was ordering his food. He ordered a burger. He
Oh yeah, I saw that.
he
Yeah,
wanted the cheese, right? But he
yeah.
said, how much is the cheese? And the lady said $3. And so he said, just keep it. No, I don't want it. And but then he complained about the cost, like everything costs so much money. That girl got a lot of flack, but she left, she went to the bathroom, she paid the check, and she texted him and said, you should have paid for the cheese, and she blocked him. Now, the only thing that I really saw that she did wrong was that she ghosted him that way. And a lot of people felt
That's
like,
childish. Yeah, that's childish. Like because he want to pay for cheese on the cheeseburger, like $3 too much for extra cheese. Like, fuck it, leave it. I don't need it.
no, but she has a point, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Hmm.
We don't really know because they stayed there long enough for them to get the food and eat the food. How much did he complain?
Um.
Have you ever been around somebody that was just constantly complaining about money?
Oh. Oh.
I try to stay the hell away from people that are talking about bills and money and stuff like that because I feel like poverty is contagious. I don't want to be, I don't want, like, you don't want to go out on a, like this is your free time. You, at some point, we need to be able to relate about finances and money. But if I'm on the date and you're actively complaining about money, or I don't want to hear nothing about a light bill, car payment, I don't want to hear really any complaints about how much things cost, because I think that's a person that has like money issues. I've been around people that are constantly, do you know how much I spent for that? I spent a lot of money for that. I always spend, you know how much I spent for that? And I'm like, ugh. Like, it doesn't even matter if they're saying things cost too much or don't. It's just people who talk a lot about money. It
Hmm.
usually doesn't end up getting better. And
He
this
could
this
just be tight with money
literally
though.
happened to me. I
He
was
could be
around a
somebody who got to
person.
save a lot of money.
Yeah, but the energy of the person that's constantly talking about money and complaining about money,
Hmm.
no. I didn't feel like, I felt like she was rude, even though I think even that one was fake, right? But then she even went back and tried to apologize to the guy. But there's just some things too. Yeah, you want to look for that. You don't want people who are overly concerned and sweating bullets either about money because they can't afford to go on dates, or they
Right.
could just be, because it seemed to me more like he was just more the bottom line. It really wasn't about the cheese. It was just that he was a complainer.
Hmm. Nah, she got a point. You got a point there. Nah, I can't really argue with that so much. Like if you complain a lot, that's the same thing. If I hear a woman complain about this bill, say, "Oh, I'm texting her or something," or she talking about, "Oh, nothing, just trying to pay this bill." I'm like, "What? What? Like, why are you complaining to me about that so early?" You know, I can get on that part that you don't want nobody that's complaining about something because it
Yeah,
does kind of give it gives the perception that you can't afford certain things
almost like
or
they're on a grudge for going on the date.
something like that. Yeah, I guess that you could say that. You know, I guess that's what she took it as. You know, so I can see because like I remember that video too, and I can see a lot of people trashed her for it. But I think maybe she could have waited to after the date. You know, just like get done
It
with the
was,
date
yeah, you know how
and
they
told him
say it ain't in
afterwards.
what you do, is how you do
Is
it.
how you do it. It's the way she went about it though. That's why people chastised her so much and gave her a lot of flack for it because the way you went about it, you wasn't adult enough to tell and say, hey, look. The other day, say, you know, I had a good time, but I don't think this is gonna work out because you did something that I thought was very rude or something that I don't want to deal with, don't want to be around.
I don't
Then
know.
she could have told him,
It's tough. It's tough because we're getting to the point these days where it's like, why waste your time? There's a lot of things now where it's just getting to the point like, why waste your time?
right?
Why waste your time?
True,
Because
but
sometimes you can't even really be nice to people sometimes. I don't know. Did you want to go down that list? Because I did also too want to talk about that list, the little clapback list. I mean, are
oh
these
yeah.
lists even real? Are these real lists? Are people really making this? Or is this just, the machine that's working against us? That,
Mm.
there's some people who like to see the fighting and the bickering and the arguing that women have.
You know,
I think like whatever standards that you have, don't be mad if you don't fit into someone else's criteria. That person just is not for you.
Correct. Correct.
Let's just not do that. I just think don't video people while you're on a date and do nasty
Exactly.
stuff and try to
Yeah.
embarrass them
Yeah. Or make them feel bad.
or try to make people feel like shit. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. But you can have whatever you want. What if you like BDSM and you want somebody to pinch your nipples and smack your booty? Whatever you like to do, but just be upfront and let the person know. Don't
Exactly.
we got categories. We got things like, choices.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to
Plenty
something
of
that you
people.
said earlier too. I'm gonna go to something that you said earlier. And earlier you said that if you don't like somebody, I feel like if you don't like somebody, you're not into somebody,
Stop
don't
wasting
go on a
people's
date with them.
time.
Don't waste their time. Just tell them from the jump. Say, hey, look, this ain't gonna work out. Hey, I don't think me and you gelling, or I don't think you the type of person. Even if it sounds vain, just let the person know. Say, hey, it ain't gonna work
It's a
out.
lot of people. They got all day for fuckery. They got all day to waste your time. But you know what? You can easily cut through that nonsense by listening to what people talk about. I think
I
a lot of
agree.
people tell you who they are and we don't listen and
Right.
we don't pay attention.
Right.
Listen to what people are telling you. Are they talking about real stuff? Are they being vulnerable at all? Are they really trying to get to know you? Are they really sharing things? Are they talking about their bills? Are they
Right.
talking about their kids and their bills and their rent? Are they talking about, oh, I want to buy this. Oh, I want to go here. Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I want to do that. Or are they talking about the future plans, the things that they like to do for fun? And how they want to share, how they want to spend their time. Because I'm just saying, a long time ago when we used to go dating, we used to talk about stuff. What's your favorite color? Who was your favorite teacher in the third grade? Funny stories. But I really don't think. I think people are so tired of getting to know people. I think
That
I,
too.
I was remembering like a time where you just kind of get burnt out asking people stuff about their life.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right. You
what do
do.
we do?
But
You've experienced that?
yeah, but at the same token, I mean, I'm not gonna waste somebody else's time. I just tell them like, hey, look, I'm not interested, or I feel like it's not gonna work out that person. I just tell them, I just let them off easy. You let them down easy. You don't have to be rude about it. Just tell them up front, say, I don't think me and you gonna work out, or I'm no
Have
longer interested in you.
Have you ever have you been approached by a woman for a date that you weren't interested in the woman?
Yes, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, I told her no. I told her no. I was like, I'm not interested.
Why
I
weren't
told
you
her
interested?
I wasn't interested. It just wasn't somebody that I was attracted to like that. I just say I wasn't
Had you
interested.
had a conversation with her first, or was it just that, like,
Yeah,
just her appearance just wasn't appealing? The energy just wasn't there.
it just wasn't there. And having a conversation too, listen to what they talk about too, or certain things that they talk about. That too. If I feel like values don't align, then I'm not going to talk to the person. Don't get me wrong; it's just not based on looks. It's a
I
little
know,
more
I
to
know,
that.
I know, I know, totally. It was just making me think about like my one job. I was really good at this particular job. I used to work sales at Sprint, right? And
Hmm.
I would, by the time I got done with clients, I would sell somebody a phone. I'd end up hugging them. By the end, they would hug me, and people would be like, "What in the world?" Like, how is, like, what were you guys talking about? But at my station behind me, there would be one guy. All he would do was look at cars and look at girls on. It's not Facebook. What was before Facebook?
MySpace,
MySpace.
MySpace.
And then there was the Black Planet. Yeah, it was Black Planet. And he would be on there, and that's all he would do is just look at girls on there. Then when we would get our nails done or get your hair done, when we would come to work, everybody, oh, you got it like this? Oh, you did it like that? And I used to be like so annoyed because I would think, however I do my nails, whatever shoes I wear, however I got my hair done, or whatever new wig I got is just, it seemed like people were so superficial and they would just talk about cars and shoes and, oh, a hairdo or something like that. And so, it's just extremely, extremely dull and superficial.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm a movie person, so I know I got to be with somebody who doesn't mind that I talk a lot during the movie sometimes.
Dang, you one of them. So you one of them. You like to talk through the
Oh
movie,
my gosh,
tell what they
I've been
doing.
fussed at. I've been fussed
Like
at.
it depends on what the movie like. It's a movie that's a classic or something that we've seen
Oh,
over and
I
over
like to
again.
dissect every bit of a movie because I
There's
went to
nothing
school
wrong
for
with that then.
film. See, you went to school for music and I went to school for film.
Right, right. That's right. You did tell me that.
So I gotta see, does the lips line up? Was the lighting, the symbolism, like, so I don't know.
I'm
I
like that
can
with
be,
music. I'm like that
yeah,
with music.
exactly.
If I hear something else like, dang, they ain't mixed right, or why they come in like that? Like, who mixed that?
Yeah, or like now I like Egyptian art. So I've been going to Egypt. So I'm like, oh, I want to talk about this. Or if I want to run my mouth and be like, do you know what happened to me today? Like somebody who doesn't mind listening to me trip today. So that's what I like. Is like, okay, are you gonna listen to me trip? Because
Hmm.
certain people don't want to hear that.
Right, absolutely.
Some people don't like movies at all, or some people don't like I like cartoons too. You know what I really don't like too is
Hmm.
I remember one time I met somebody and we were doing the getting to know you, talking. And I was saying how I love this cartoon Archer at the time. And they were like, yeah, I like Archer too. And so the first time we sat down, we're going to watch it. He said, oh, I don't want to watch that. Like, I don't like that. And I was like, what? He just completely lied and was like, this is it. Like all this fake it till you make it, or people who mimic you. You'll notice this too. That's something you should pay attention to. People who, when as soon as you say, "Oh yeah, I like a blue Mercedes," yeah, I like blue Mercedes, yeah, and they're like faking. Honestly, they're honest to God faking. They're pretending to mimic you, everything you say that you like. But then also notice too, especially somebody like me has to notice this because I like to talk a lot, but then I also like to ask a lot of questions. So can the person answer my questions without getting offended? If you ask them about their kids, they be, oh, I don't want to talk about that. You talk about, your job. I don't want to talk about that. If they get defensive when you're asking them questions, like, oh no, if I can't have long conversations with you, then I'm not really
Something
interested.
wrong. Something wrong.
Yeah. So, see, none of those had anything to do with Applebee's, right? None of those had
Mhm.
anything to do with where we go for dinner because you could meet somebody at a park fountain looking, throwing in pennies, and you could meet somebody and have a banging conversation, right?
Right.
And you guys didn't, and that might be this by chance meeting of,
What's good,
the
Santos?
possible love of your life that didn't cost money for you to meet them and talk to them. But it's
Right.
going to be a lot of really lonely women if your focus is only based on how much money the person makes, but then the person doesn't want to hear what you have to say. Hey, Santos.
What's good, Santos? What's good? Hey, that's my man Santos threads. I've been following him on IG. Matter of fact, he had a podcast too. When we was in the Growth Squad, all us did an episode on this podcast. He interviewed all us, and me and
Oh,
Santos been cool ever
awesome.
since. Matter of fact, I interviewed him on Live Talks Alone on IG. I had an interview with him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's one of my
You
guests
guys
on
are
Live Talks
so
Alone.
busy. You guys are constantly doing it.
Yep,
And you're doing it on your own too, without the man with their foot on your neck and some
exactly.
license to freedom. And that is so awesome. Now
Yep.
you guys need to make some conscious frequency music, and I want to be able to do my little affirmations of over the top, like because I cannot sing, but I can talk over
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that, man. Appreciate it, Santos, man. Come through. Man, you got a nice clothing brand too as well. You still do your podcast on Santos? Or you just focus on your clothing brand now?
Oh, clothing brand.
Yeah, you got some dope stuff because I know sometimes we chop it up in the DMs about sneakers too.
It must
Black
be
and brown,
really
we break
hard
those inner
to.
circles of the man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because me and him also chop it up about the sneakers too. Because I know he's into Nikes and Jordans. We talk about the quality of it. The quality, how the quality sucks on the Jordans, and now I'm into sneakers too. So like me, he's into sneakers. He said I've been focusing on the clothing, but I would like to do podcast again. That's what's up,
Doing
man.
those interviews, it takes a lot of energy. Like I'm
It
just
does.
taking a
It
break
does.
right now. Yeah, I'm
It
taking a
does.
little break. So
It does. I have my moments, but I don't feel like doing live. Like 2 weeks ago, I was supposed to do a live, and you say, you know what? I don't feel like doing it, so I ain't gonna do it. It does take a lot of energy out of you because sometimes I feel like
well,
I don't feel
yeah,
like talking.
because then too, it's like, okay, let's find a person
Yeah.
or a topic and
Yeah.
then getting them there on time. Like I've had people who they were the main topic. They were the one that brought up the topic and then
Hmm.
they were like 30 minutes an hour late. I know you've been on one of the lives with me and the person wasn't even there. They were at a party. And I'm like, what in the world? You're looking at people like, what are you doing?
Right. Exactly. Because it's like
Yeah, it takes some time and it takes some energy.
it take a lot of time and energy. You be tired afterwards. Then after I get done, I be sleeping. I'm like, why I'm so sleepy? Oh, using your energy. Got to charge your
Sometimes
social
I'm
battery.
pumped. Yeah, sometimes I get so pumped up afterwards. I'm like,
Now, sometimes I'm excited.
oh, I'm the
I drank an
best.
energy
Like,
drink or something. Well, by the
I'm
way,
the
on your
greatest.
topic, you were discussing that list basically eliminated every place I would go to for a first date. Exactly. Damn that list. Exactly. Like,
Right.
because I will go to those
I
places for a
don't think
first
it's
date.
really damn that list. I think it's
I would
damn
say damn
that
that list.
person because that person is in a different category. They're looking for
Hmm.
something different than what you are. And that is
And sometimes they really in a different category. Sometimes
they
that
really
person
are.
is just superficial and they trying to put themselves in a category they're not even in themselves.
I guess we could say, yeah, we could say superficial, but I
I'm
think
gonna stick with
it's
that.
this set of women that are like trying to set their boundaries because they're maybe even afraid, even. I don't know.
True.
I think
I don't
why,
know.
I don't know. If I have to sit there and think of a list of places I don't want to eat, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
So
Because I'm kind
exactly.
of thinking, I don't know if that person's really thinking about what they want out of a mate. Like I said, if my nights, I still have to go call my friends to have someone to talk to, but we can go to the fanciest restaurant. But I don't have someone to talk to.
Right.
What's the point?
Exactly. I mean, and the first day should be about a whole bunch of conversation, like you were saying earlier. Like that's how you get to know somebody, conversation. So if I'm going to this 5-star restaurant, like I'm getting to know you. Of course you're gonna talk to me then, but like let me see what you about because how you know if I say go let's go get some coffee? How you know afterwards I didn't plan and say hey, kind of leave your day open. If the day
Ooh,
goes,
yeah, I've
let's go
had
get
dates
something to
like
eat.
that. I've
That's
had
what
dates
see.
like
I
that.
had a date like that. I had a date like that a couple months ago. Like me and the girl didn't work out, but we actually went to brunch at Jay Christopher's. I took her out. I took her out to eat brunch, and then we pointed over there. It's like, what's that? I said, that's the mall. We can go walk around there and talk some more. We did. So we did. We talked some more, and we hung out for the
See,
majority of that
some
day.
people would have been mad they went in the mall and he didn't buy me nothing.
I wasn't
Or
doing
some
that,
people would have been perfectly okay, like, okay, at least we
but
got
it,
some AC.
but yeah, she was perfectly
Or we can
cool.
hang out and I can just talk to you about stuff that I like so that by the time we hit our anniversary, you know exactly what I
Yeah,
want.
exactly.
But it's expectations.
Exactly. And
It's expectations.
like I say, I don't mind going to different places, but the vibe matters more. Exactly. It's not about being cheap or not being able to afford. That vibe gotta be there because I feel like if the vibe is there, then it don't matter what you do. Because I heard women say this. Women have said this like, I don't care where he takes me. If I like you, it don't matter where we go. Heck, we could be in the car, just sitting there
This was
chilling in the
another
car.
thing that I was gonna think too. Like, some women feel used, right?
Hmm.
But why? Some people don't have self control. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You see where I'm going with that? Like, so she already know, like, okay, if he touched my thigh, that's it. We doing it, right? So it's like, okay, because you know that you are so limited on your self control. Because how did I lose by us going to Applebee's? How did I lose? But if you feel like you know that you're gonna be, quick to perform, but then you're gonna feel cheated because you only got Applebee's, and maybe it has more to do with you than it has to do with the guy and where he took you. You see what I'm saying? Because they are lacking self-control, maybe. But I don't know. I don't know. Has anyone died or been poisoned at Applebee's? Or maybe these women have been kicked out of all these restaurants, and maybe that's why they don't want to go. I have no idea. I honestly, I cannot even come up with a reason for the list. It doesn't make sense to me. Well, I wouldn't say it doesn't make sense, but it's very limiting. And when you put those type of limits on dating,
Right.
I think you just kind of miss out.
Right. You do. Because you can miss out on a great person. You could be missing out on the person of your dreams. Because the simple fact you're gonna get mad because he took you to Cheesecake Factory. Girl, the girl, you know how the girl women do. Oh girl, he took me to Cheesecake Factory. Now
That used to
I
be
don't want to go there.
that used to be it though, right? That used to be like, oh, you really doing something.
I
So
mean,
the
it's still expensive. I mean, Cheesecake Factory ain't no low level restaurant. It's still expensive.
It
It's
depends. When we
reasonable,
went
but
to
it's like
Illinois, we went to what's the place with the arch? It's
um
Missouri, St. Louis. Is that
St.
it
Louis,
with the big
St.
arch,
Louis,
right?
St. Louis.
My friends and I, we were walking down the street, and I mean, I have cool friends. Even when I was in the military, I have cool friends. Like my friends would be like, "I'm getting a rental car," and then one of us would be like, "Okay, I got the hotel," and then the other one would be like, "All right, we got all the liquor for the weekend." Like we would treat each other, right? And so when I went with my friends to Illinois, I saw this steak that was like $100, and I don't know. I think we got like we shared it. It was like this $100 steak, and I just was like, well, shit, I ain't never had $100 steak. I'm gonna see this steak, like
Mm-hmm.
so.
Right.
I get it, but we treated ourselves to that.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
And who's to say they're not going to treat you, or maybe like a later on date? They might treat you to that fancy
yeah,
restaurant, but at first they trying to vet you. It should be about trying to vet you, because it's like I feel like they ought to let me know what you about right there. See that gives off the perception that you just care about how much money I can spend on what I can do for you,
yeah,
not
it
about who I am as
definitely
a
had
person.
some. It had the flued out vibes. It has flued out vibes. That list, it's like some flued out vibes. Unless they're just really older women who really just have how do you say when you in their ways, they got set in their ways. That's it. Like they're set in their ways, kind of
Yeah.
rigid, maybe. So I can't. I mean, I saw the men's list. Did you look at the men's list? It said single mothers, women with tattoos, women who dress like this in public, but it doesn't show. And then it had all the IG strippers, call girls,
Mm-hmm.
escorts, Instagram models, people with non-ear piercings, purple hair. I'm done because I got blue hair. But hey, the people in Egypt and everybody else loves my blue hair, so
Right.
they would just be missing out because I'm banging with this blue hair. So, hoe friends,
Right.
travel regularly. I would be off the list because of that, right?
Right.
Drink liquor
And
regularly.
I think they're just trolling at that point. I think they're just trolling
Yeah,
at
this
that
was
point.
just trolling. It just seems like trolling.
Just
Divorcees,
trolling,
I'd be
just to
off
say,
that list so fast. That list,
just trolling at that point.
I think the first list was trolling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there was actually a group. All I know is, like you said, let's talk about this Willie Lynch thing, right? What was that about?
Oh, I ain't gonna talk about on this episode. I'm on another
Oh, you're
episode.
not. But I think that's a part of what this is. This is all
Oh,
part of the
well, what you about to
structure.
say about it?
Well, what
Interesting.
it is the structure was based like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, raise the woman to be strong, raise the man to be weak, make so the man cannot protect the woman, right? The black man, so he can't protect the woman. So the women would
Correct.
grow their daughters up to be strong. So the women are going out as super achievers. And you think about how things have been where women could find jobs, but then black men could not. They had to go from town to town. You know what I mean? Always being accused of things, or, like things have been a little bit off balance. when it comes to women and men and the ability to earn money sometimes. So then, deindustrializing the cities, moving all the factories and the jobs away, taking out JTPTA from the schools so that guys can learn to be a mechanic or do brick masons and these hands-on jobs where those are really like foundational jobs where men can make lots of money and actually support a family. Move those things out of the way, and now leaving the woman, okay, here we can give women, if you have a kid, you don't need a man because you can get food stamps, welfare, Section 8, all these things where, and then if the man is in your home, you got to kick the man out, right? The man has to hide because you have an income level, right? So
Right.
now this man can't even be present. So now who becomes the father? Uncle Sam is the father. So we've created a lot of imbalances, and then drugs through the system, and then now it's to this point where women have become a lot stronger economically, right?
Right.
Because if you're not rapping, playing basketball or football, I don't really know, where all the great, fantastic jobs. There's a lot of Black engineers though right now too, but
Right.
here it is. It's come to this point where now Black women have developed economically, and it's just encouraged her voice, and it's just being promoted amongst us that mentality, Black men ain't shit, and and then it's back and forth with the women, like this kind of bitter
The
talk
Willie Lynch syndrome.
to actually separate us. Like, hey guys, if you wake up, it's working. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Now, no one has to tell you this. This is something that your grandmother probably said, or your mother probably said, and now women are kind of like out here kind of repeating this cycle, and men and women are out here repeating this cycle, and they're hating each other. We have a love-hate relationship. Do we want to be alone? No, we don't. We want to have sex. We want to have relationships. We want to have children. We want these things, but we're so hurt right now that we're so traumatized that now we're just actually just hurting each other. But now it's gone beyond this trauma to where people are literally so brainwashed in this culture that they think that their priorities are just out of order. It's just microwave.
Correct. Because
When you go to high school and you have $900 shoes on your feet to go to the prom, what else is there to look forward to? You've set the bar so high in middle school and high school, but it is not even a sustainable lifestyle. It's not realistic and sustainable. And now I'm going to say this. On this God's green earth, we are basically living like slaves on this planet, and we're subsisting, right? Because we're getting to this point where we have to pay for oxygen, and it's terrible. But while we're in this system, we want more, and we want to manifest, and we want to be abundant. But then there's also this thing where we just have to also be realistic too, and genuine and authentic. And we're losing a lot of our authenticity to be like we see people on TV, not really understanding they get paid to be on TV. They can,
exactly. You're right.
I don't know. Does everybody want to drop a sex tape of Kim Kardashian? We got to kind of pull it back and stop trying to be leaks and stop trying to be, LA Ink. Like, people are really becoming caricatures. We're not even acting like real people anymore. We're modeling
exactly. A modern day minstrel show. A
modern day minstrel show. And so,
like Bamboozle. You ever seen a movie on Bamboozle?
Oh my gosh.
With Spike Lee, Spike Lee movie with
yeah. And he was, he was so on it, right? Like, I can go on the TV and act like a fool and destroy culture by promoting it.
Promoting violence and
getting my money. And then so people were against him, like, but he was like, yeah, but do you want me to not get money? But there's principles, right?
Right.
But our kids are getting lost in this. Mine's not. My son is sarcastic. He watches fail movies and he looks at people and he's like, nah, I do not consent. I think it was just we have to get to this point where we do not consent, but
Exactly.
don't get that shiny penny syndrome or that what is it, shiny object syndrome, where you're just
Hmm.
jumping out looking for a big booty. I mean, a big
Exactly.
booty ain't gonna do shit for you when you need somebody to hustle with you, when you need somebody to stand by your hospital bed. The fact that she has a big booty is not going to help you. We're supposed to be looking for to people that you take on dates. Now, if you
Right.
just want to do a little thing and do your thing, there's nothing wrong with y'all just doing that. But as long as two people know that that's what they're doing. But if you're
Exactly.
really dating to get to know people and be in a relationship, you need to find out what somebody's going to be like. If my mama died, are you going to answer the phone?
Hmm.
Are you going to go to the funeral with me? Are you going to, am I going to be able to cry? And that goes for a man or a woman. Will you allow this man to cry? Will you allow, this woman to be like to fall asleep on your shoulder? Because I think
Preach.
deep down inside, a lot of people want that, but they don't even they're not vulnerable enough to even verbalize it.
Right. And I see Santos. Santos says me that they want to steal black culture, inner city culture. They want to emulate black culture, but don't want to understand systemic issues or resolve things. He right. Preach, man. Preach it, bro.
I
Preach it,
hear
brother.
you with that, but I think that we have gone far enough where we ourselves can
No, it's
look
still there.
around and identify
It's still there,
I
but you
have a
right.
problem and I don't want to be a part of the problem, because I feel like I see a lot of people on Facebook and YouTube, they are actually a part of the problem. And don't you think people who share the videos, like there's a certain psychologist that I saw, I couldn't
Yeah.
believe he was an actual therapist, and all he does is generate videos like this,
Oh,
and
the
I can't
Shade
even
Room and
believe
stuff like
it
that. Pages like
because you're
Shade Room,
sensationalizing
TMZ.
it
Yeah.
and you're sharing it on your
Now we hold
show.
accountability too. I agree. I
Yeah,
agree. We hold
so
accountability too on this situation. And to go to the dating thing, it gives me another topic is like, so what's the disconnect between black men and black women, or just in the urban
I think we
community?
don't give each other freedom to be ourselves either, because
Hmm.
I know, like,
And so we
in
having
that
lists like this,
situation,
is part of the really Nick syndrome. Like you see how the women got here saying, "Oh, these niggas ain't shit. Oh, they can't take us nowhere." Then the men we come out there trolling and throwing it back. Like instead of working together, say, "Well, what's the issue of the disconnect between us? Let's figure this out. Let's stop the disconnect between us and let's fix it." Nobody sits back.
there's a lot of immature individuals out here.
I
And that's
agree.
the problem. You
I
can tell
agree.
by I think the best thing you can do is duck and cover. Ask people serious questions, ask people real questions, and duck and cover when you don't get the correct responses. Move on. Because I think a lot of us are just wasting people's times.
Hmm.
We're wasting people's time.
Right. And Santos said, speaking of people who are well off, including famous and wealthy minorities. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, they hold accountability too. Some of them don't come back and give back to the community or use the resources that they have to put others on or to fix the issues that they see going in the community. You can start with your community first. That's a whole nother topic too. I'm gonna get at that too.
I don't know. I don't know if we can help each other. I think and it really is
Hmm.
just going to be coming. Best thing that we can do for each other is to do personal development for yourself. Because that's the only person I can control. If I go at this on a macro level and think I'm going to reach the whole community and I'm going to change it, like I can't, but I can
Of
be
course not.
a positive individual. And
Exactly.
so,
But you can do your part, though. That's what I'm saying. You can do
because
your
I think
part
I think it's
in the
like this,
community as
Sharon,
an individual.
because me and you are friends and Santos is a cool guy, right? And so
Right.
here we are. We were listening to 93.3 and we're watching all this happen. It's 93.3, the station. And we're like,
Hmm.
I just don't like that song anymore. And I don't want to play that song anymore. And so now
Hmm.
me, you, and Santos, we change our frequency over to 101.7 on Sunny 100.7. And we're
Hmm.
like, oh my God. And so as we begin to change our frequency and really begin to connect with people who are in the mindset that we are in, you're not going to hear 93.3 anymore. That's not
Hmm.
even a part of your world. It's a different channel. We just got to change the channel. And then we got to do what? Connect with people that are on our wavelength. people that are of our frequency,
Right.
and not contribute any longer to this, because some of the things I don't even want to share it anymore. Like, I started to feel guilty sharing certain things with my friends, like bombarded, like, can you believe this? Because it also contributes to them not feeling good about life when they keep seeing these type of things. Now, cheesecake wasn't so bad, but I've seen a lot worse. Like here we are, people sharing videos of people fighting and beating each other up. Like, I remember the girl that got beat up on the school campus, and it was like a mob, and they were all just taking video of it. And it's just like, what are we promoting? What are we sharing? What are we giving to each other? Like, the best thing for us to do is to not participate in it, not to share it, not to promote it, not to laugh at it anymore, but to just get to this point where we get to sharing positive stuff and building positive communities, because we can't make people change who don't want to change. But what we can do
Mm-hmm.
is connect with the positive people that want to be this way.
Right. 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 And I was to say, I hate talking to some people who just don't give
Yeah,
no
because
feelings to
what,
people.
they're energy vampires, people who are energy
Mm-hmm.
vampires, and
Mm-hmm.
they just really thrive on that energy. But that's what the thing was, Santos, that we were talking about, is people who are being positive and trying to go change and be on the move. Like, they're not going to be able to last in your space. The one thing too, when you're dating, that you can realize quickly if that person is a good fit for you or not, is if you start out as a person that's happy, that makes yourself happy, buy yourself the things that you want, eat the places you want to go, have the things that you want in your life, and now you're happy, right? This is a
Right.
huge mistake most people have, is what? They're unhappy and they're looking for someone to make them happy. Make yourself happy. Now, when Sharon comes around me and he's bitter and he's complaining, I'm going to be like, ugh, you lowering my happiness meter. Every time you come around me, I'm spending money I didn't want to spend, or, I got to give you loans. Like, you'll notice quickly if you're already happy,
Mm-hmm.
making yourself happy. When people
Mm-hmm.
come around you that lower your joy, lower your frequency, start to make you feel depressed or uncomfortable, now you know very quickly, I don't want to participate in this. And
Right.
that's what I've done, is just, I'm happy. I
Right.
travel. I buy what I want to eat.
Right.
I don't wait for
Exactly.
anybody to buy me shoes or pay for my phone or do things for me. But then when you come inside my life, you shouldn't be taking away from my energy levels. You shouldn't be taking away from my finances. We should be mutually benefiting each other.
Right. And Santos said right away he would date people in the past. I've been called a bookworm born preachy, and in that moment I knew that girl wasn't for me. Right. I
Bam.
agree. I
You're
agree.
not
Right.
gonna fix and come up in here and change me. I'm gonna be right on
Exactly.
here with Sharon talking trash on YouTube. If you got a problem with it, you either gonna be my cheerleader or you're gonna be,
Exactly.
a hater.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, Erica, because I think what's the problem I see, not everybody, but I see it in a lot of people who wants to get into relationships. They think they can come in there and change this person. Oh, I can mold
Or
this person to
fix a
be what I
person.
want. Fix person. Don't do that. Like, either you're gonna accept them for who they are, they showing you who they are, right? You're gonna accept them for who they are, or just walk away, say, hey, this person's not for me. Okay, I'm gonna go this way and find somebody that's for me or that lines with my values.
I think that's kind of an issue that women have too, because I think a lot of men will see you how you are,
Exactly.
and they'll be like, okay, that girl crazy. She like to
Mm-hmm.
do tarot cards, or she like to do whatever it is that the girl is into. Like, man, you see that girl is crazy. Like, they'll
Right.
be mostly kind of proud of it. But what women do, they start to look at people and say, oh, he got potential, girl. Oh, he real smart. He could do this, he could do that. And then they go try to fix a person. Well, you're gonna try to make somebody run the Olympics. Just because I'm fast don't mean I want to run the Olympics. Don't mean I want to
Exactly.
be, so don't come in thinking that you're gonna
Change me.
change somebody and be like, oh, you should get this job, you should work here, or you should move here. People, a big thing about this, like in sales, remember we were both working with World Financial Group, right? So it was so funny, because what happens is you meet a person and you're trying to tell them, if you do this, your life will be better. But a lot of people, maybe they don't have that self-esteem to do that. If you want a person that does XYZ, go find a person that does XYZ. Don't try to convert somebody into what you want to fit you.
You want them to be, yeah, exactly.
See people right where they're at, because you have to think, if especially if the person is a drinker, if they're a smoker, if they do drugs, if they are polygamous or whatever it is,
Uh-huh.
if you can't deal with that person being that way for the rest of their life, then you need to leave it alone, because people will try to change for you and they'll try to please you, and it'll be all out of good intentions, but it's not going to work like that. It doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
People have to, like, if I'm going to change, I have to change for myself. If I'm going to do something, I have to do that for myself. Potential is great when you are cultivating
Cultivating
your
your children,
children,
etc. And
but even that can
you said
hurt
not
your
for a potential
children.
partner.
But even that can hurt your children,
Mm-hmm.
because children, you can start to do this to your children, and you can hurt them with your expectations, because they feel like they're never good enough. And some parents, what they do is withhold affection, because you should play football. My mom used to tell me, "Oh, you're so smart. You do computers. You should go to school for computer science." That was not me. I was very disturbed by her constantly bombarding me with that, because that wasn't me. That's not what I wanted to do. Even though I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just didn't feel I had the skills, or I didn't have the
Or you weren't
confidence.
passionate. You wasn't passionate about it.
I wasn't passionate, and I didn't have the confidence to do it. Can you imagine pushing somebody to do something that they don't have the confidence to do? Stop
Right.
trying to shove. I think we're used to that as a culture, to shove boulders up hills and push. And we think our job is to push, push, push. Stop pushing people. Watch people. I've seen people too who are complaining like, "Oh, I really need a job." You ever try to do that for somebody and they're like, "Oh, you need a job? Let me help you. Let me help you do a resume. Let me help you do a job search. Oh, let me drive you to the job." What happened? "Oh, it was too many people in there," and they walk out. They don't
Yeah.
have what it takes to do it. If they did, they'd go do it. Stop listening to people complain about their life and trying to fix it. Instead, just watch them. And a person who's doing it, like if somebody is in the action, in the actual act of doing it, then you might say, "Well, do you need a ride?" But don't build the house for the
Uh-huh.
person. They have to build it for themselves. I never
Exactly.
withhold affection from my kids. I am supportive. And yeah, maybe you don't mean it the same way. Maybe you don't mean it the same way. But I think I'm from a like in an old school way, where our parents really like expected you to do exactly what they wanted you to do, and they wanted you to go to school, and why didn't you do this and why didn't you do that,
Uh-huh.
and it's like, you can never really please them. So it was just this feeling of, you know,
Right.
emptiness, because you feel like you never made them proud until you're like, all depressed and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We learned together, but I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. It was definitely a good
Yeah, we
conversation.
talked about a lot.
We talked about a lot. We had some subtopics though, but it all fell under what we was talking about. So,
Yeah.
and we're gonna go into the closing remarks. So, you have anything that you want to let the listeners and viewers know?
Yeah, make yourself happy. And a lot of this damage that we're doing to each other is due to us being hurt as children. In the next month, I'll be doing my own course on inner child healing. It's going to be very special,
Mm,
taking you from birth
mm,
on till you graduate. So you'll start with your birth and move on to a graduation. And this is something I'm really proud of. It's a part of my actual human design. It's funny because I chose the name Cosmic Mama, and it's because of my love for Hathor and my trips to Egypt. But I even have the Cosmic Mother as a part of my archetype in human design. So it was like, wow, okay, I'm really living it. And so a part of it is to help people heal their inner child. That's like my purpose in life, because I'm very much in touch with my childhood. And I think if we can heal these broken things that happened to us when we were children, then we don't have to take it out on other people in our adult life. And
right.
then if we're not healed as children, then it's hard for us to actually be good parents because we're still so wounded. We can't
Uh-huh.
nurture our kids properly because we're still licking our wounds from when we were a child, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
very important to me. But I have a Telegram. I'm the First
Mm-hmm.
Lady Erica at gmail.com. Um, my channel on YouTube is Women of the Stars. If you're in the chat, you can see it. So,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
if
make sure
you,
y'all follow her. I
yeah,
make sure I
check
give her a
it
follow.
out. If you just want to have a conversation and see where things go, reach out.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely bring you back. And I definitely appreciate you being willing to join me on this topic. I appreciate you. And maybe next time we get more people to join us in. I appreciate Santo Says Media
Yeah,
for also engaging in the
I
topic.
miss our roundtables because we used to do a
Yeah.
thing together called "Our Black Men Canceled" in 2020, and those
Yes.
were some amazing talks that we had because
Maybe we need to bring that back, have a version of episode of that on Live Talks
that would
Low.
actually be great. Because I think what I'm seeing is it's almost men can't have feelings and men can't want to be loved and
Nope.
men can't want anything right now. You
I got a
know,
lot of
and
topics about that.
it's
That gives
like
me a lot of topics in my head, just you talking that. I'm like,
we're just really hurting each other right now. We're really hurting each other. And for
yeah,
us to settle into this divine feminine, we also need to settle into the fact that each one of us has the masculine and feminine in us that we need to nurture and find balance in that, you know?
no.
Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. I thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Santo Says Media, and your friend. I think it was, what was her name? Megan.
Megan,
Yeah, Megan. I
not
appreciate
the
her tapping in.
stallion, just Scott. Yeah,
I appreciate
that
her
girl.
tapping in. And True Words tapping in earlier. I appreciate her
Yeah.
because she was sharing some input in the comments as well. So, I appreciate her. And I
And
appreciate
Megan does
everybody
some
else
amazing
watching.
galactic readings too, man.
Hmm.
She can tell you the color of your mama socks. You know what I'm saying? And your mama on the other side of town. She's good.
Hmm.
She's good.
Hmm. That's pretty good. That's pretty good right there. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead
She's
and
helped me a lot.
I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. So with that being said, I'm the Redders only. As you can see on the banner that was scrolling across all night,
I
you can find
love
me
it.
at www.lorettasonly.com. I do live talks with Lo. I shoot a new episode every 2 weeks as of right now. So you can catch me on YouTube or Facebook or any other platform that I decide to add because I'm using StreamYard now. So I will be adding it to more platforms as I get more requests on more platforms to get reach a wider audience. With Live Talks Low, I've been doing this for 2 years. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you for checking me out. So with that being said, y'all can see me 2 weeks from now on Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Same time and place, unless I say otherwise. So with that being said, I'm out. Peace. Be blessed.